welcome. It's Michelle McLean here with another health coaching skills tutorial. So today we're talking all about a very common question and dilemma that I hear amongst new health coaches, which is, this idea of I get into my health coach training and I learn from all kinds of medical professionals. I learn all kinds of diet theories. And then I realize, or I'm told, that as a health coach, I'm not supposed to give advice and recommendations. So I actually got this question yesterday from a health coaching student who explained this exact confusion and wanting some clarity around it, right? Because it really can pose a lot of confusion, right? So what the heck do I do as a health coach if I do not give advice and recommendations? So that's what we're going to dig into today. I've got 7 tips, 7 things that we can do as health coaches. But I just want to talk a little bit about just our role as health coaches first before I get into those specific tips. So the other question that comes from it, well, during my health coach training, why did I learn all of this medical theory and, learn from functional medicine practitioners and dietitians, and I learn all these dietary theories? Why did I learn all of that if I'm not supposed to recommend or prescribe or, give advice like some of those other medical professionals do? So number one, the really key thing is that as health coaches, right, we should have a solid understanding about health practices, best practices. We should have a solid understanding so that we can really notice risk factors, right, are really, really important. So that we have the knowledge, that we can speak the language, so we can understand and relate to our clients when they come to us with various symptoms and challenges. It's okay to work with people who have those things, but we're not the ones, prescribing, treating, and diagnosing, right? So it is also important for us to have that information because we do educate a little bit. We do share some information, absolutely, as health coaches. So it is important, but it doesn't mean that we are the ones dishing out protocols, telling people what to eat, and again, being medical professionals. So I think that is the first piece to understand, is that we are not medical professionals, right? We were not trained as doctors. We were not trained as therapists. We were not trained as nutritionists or dietitians or fitness trainers. So coaching is really different from being a medical professional. So I think that's the first thing to really get clear on. We don't give prescriptions. We don't give advice and recommendations for the most part. We do often, offer some suggestions, which is okay, but that's different than, really, here's what you must do, right? Telling someone what to do. So what we do as coaches is we allow the clients to discover for themselves, right, the shifts they want to make in their life. Because what works, for one person is not going to work for everyone. You probably learned maybe in your particular health coaching training, that we are all unique. We are all individuals. So that concept of bio-individuality, right? What's going to work for me is not going to work for everyone. So if you come from this place of you have all the answers, you know what's right for your client, then you're showing up as the expert, right? But that is not the coach approach. So instead of giving advice and recommendations and telling a client what to do, we facilitate a behavioral change coaching process. And I know that's a lot. A lot of people don't quite get what a behavioral change coaching process is. And that's what I'm going to get into today. But that's the process that we facilitate as coaches to help our clients make lasting, sustainable health and wellness changes in their life. So I think the other thing that can add to this confusion, why so many new health coaches out there are confused about what we do, is because we look around and we see so many other health and wellness programs out there, right? But I would say that most of them that you're seeing out there and it's kind of a little bit of the wild, wild west. What you're seeing out there are educational programs, right? They're teaching, they're offering some sort of protocol, but those are not coaching programs, right? That's not coaching. So we want to be clear on, what is coaching versus educating, teaching, and prescribing to a potential client about what they should do. So the other thing that I was just kind of getting into there when I said about it being the wild, wild west is that coaching is an unregulated field, right? So there are all kinds of people out there with all kinds of different trainings, calling themselves coaches. They're teaching, they're educating, they're recommending, they're prescribing different things. At the end of the day, there's no real repercussions. There are no standards around this. So, you can go out there and do all of that if that's what you want to do. What I'm really trying to emphasize here in my teachings here today and in my courses and things is to really take us to a deeper place, to a behavioral change process. So that is why, and it's really important to know that now we have the National Board for Health and Wellness Coaching that is board certifying health coaches, and their mission is really to provide credibility to our industry, to bring those professional standards so, that we do have a particular process and system to follow around health coaching. So that is bringing a lot of the credibility. So just being clear of, are other folks out there doing coaching? Why are other people allowed to do this, but we're not, kind of thing. That's really how it is. It's really unregulated at this point. So, basically what we want to do is shift from being an expert, on our clients' lives. We want to shift from being the authority, the teacher, the educator, and we move into being an ally, a guide, a partner, and a coach, right? And sometimes we're just not really clear on what that word coach means. So we leave the advising, the recommending, the prescribing, and telling people what to do to those medical professionals, and we move into our role as behavioral change coaches. So what I want to do here today is really highlight a little bit of what we do in this role. This is a high-level overview of some of the aspects of the role of coach. There's much more to it, but I just really wanted to give you a sense of, what the heck do I do as a health coach if I can't advise, recommend, and prescribe? So the first thing that I want to talk about is, what we really do as coaches is help our clients get to know themselves. So I like to think about coaching as a self-exploration process, right? It really is about personal growth. It's an invitation to help your client really get to know themselves, to get to know themselves better so that they can understand, right, how and why they want to make lasting changes in their life. It's about helping them find meaning and purpose in their life. It's about having them embrace health and wellness and being able to thrive in their life and not just survive, right, through the day. So how do we help our clients self-explore and really get to know themselves? Well, we help and guide them through explorations around their values, their strengths, their personality, right? Personality assessments to help them understand their preferences and their tendencies. And this is all going to really help them, have that solid foundation of who am I, right? What do I want out of life? And then we guide them through that process to help get them there. So we can use various assessment tools, techniques, exercises to really help our client explore all of these different aspects about themselves. So that's the first piece, really helping our client to get to know themselves. The second thing that we do is we really help our client explore their current state, their current situation, to establish a baseline, right? So where are they currently with their health and well-being? We want to help them understand that current state. So this could be by, they go and they get blood work done or lab work through their doctor, their naturopath, whatever the case is. They might want to do online wellness assessments assessments. If they're working in an organization, they might have an employee assistance program or a corporate health and wellness program that provides assessments for them. So it's really important that your client has that baseline, right? It's about identifying biometric measures. Where are they now? What is that baseline? So there's lots of ways that they can explore that, right? All kinds of great online tools, because we want to get this picture of where are you today, right? What is that current state of your health and well-being? And when they get all of those results back and they get those assessments, we are not taking that and then diagnosing, prescribing, or treating from that, right? We're inviting the client to look at all of that and say, what do you notice from that, right? What is your picture of your current state of your health and well-being, right? And from that awareness, from the realizations, from those numbers and data that your client is now going to have about themselves, we're going to be able to help them develop some goals, right? So where do you want to go from here based on what you've learned about yourself and your current state, your current health and wellness situation? So that's another really great area to help our clients explore. The other thing we do, so my third kind of area of exploration with our clients, is we help them explore their vision for their health and well-being. This is a really, really key part of the behavioral change process, right? Helping our client develop this sense of what's possible for them, right? Where do they want to be? What do they hope to achieve? It's all about exploring with the client, what do they want to be and what are they capable of? What are the benefits of making these changes in their life? How would it feel if they were able to make these changes and overcome these obstacles? How would their life be different? What would they want to reclaim in their lives? So it's about helping our clients sort of, remember and reconnect back to those deeper dreams and desires that they have about their life. So really, really important to spend some time exploring this vision piece, that future state where the client wants to be. So the fourth tip I have, and sort of, getting to another aspect of our role, is we help our clients tap into and find their motivation. So I see so many health coaches day in and day out jumping into action steps with their clients. Here's a problem. All right, let's fix it, right? Let's just come up with an action plan of how you're going to fix it. But that's, coaching at a very, very basic level. What we want to do is take this deeper, right? We want to really support that behavioral change process, and motivation is really, really key to that. So we want to take it deeper, right? We want to make it more effective, more impactful. We want to have that more sustainable approach than just giving the client a bunch of action steps, right? So motivation is like the fuel that's going to drive this behavioral change process. It's the impetus for it. It's going to help your client get from where they currently are, right, to where they want to be. It's going to help, close that gap a little bit in the client's life. So without, the motivation to want to make these changes, your client's probably going to fail time and time again. So this is, such a key part of really helping our client be successful with these changes. So, without motivation, it's like a car running without any gas, right? It's not going to get anywhere without that gas, without that fuel. So in coaching, we really want that motivation to come from within, right? That intrinsic internal motivation. And that's going to be the thing that really pulls and fuels your client to move forward toward the change, right? We want them to sort of be pulled toward that future state, that desired outcome, those dreams and desires, versus being sort of pushed, from this place of fear or some sort of external motivator. Or from a place of being scared, like I'm going to do this because I'm, scared of getting a disease or an illness. What we want to do is propel them forward and have them be sort of pulled towards it because we've done all of that great exploration around their vision and what's possible and what are all those benefits going to be. That's where so much of that motivation comes from. So motivation is a huge piece. I really do invite you, if you want to take your coaching deeper, to explore explore more around motivational interviewing, I have done another video as well on my channel about motivation and how we can use that with our clients if you want to dig deeper. So my fifth tip, another thing that we do in our role as health coaches, is of course to help our clients then develop SMART goals and action plans. So, what I just talked about, those first 4 steps are really about laying the foundation for coaching. Your client's doing all of this great self-exploration work, and they're really laying the foundation, and we're setting them up for success. So we do all of that process first, and then we move to that, getting into sort of the nitty-gritty of developing the goals and the action plans and that roadmap of, again, how they're going to get from where they currently are to where they want to be. So really, really important for you as a health coach to have the skill to understand SMART goals, to understand action planning, and to really do some more, study and education around that so you can guide your clients through that process. During that, goal setting, action planning phase is where you may also do a little bit of education, sharing some information. You might be brainstorming ideas with your client. So that's where a little bit of that can come in. It's not a huge part of our role. Maybe, between 20 and 30% of our role is where we're, educating and sharing information. But it's important so that your client can figure out, what is it that they're actually going to do and what's going to work best for them. So helping them maybe experiment with different things so that you can come up with that goal, those goals and those action plans. So really important for you to be able to guide your clients through that SMART goal setting process and action planning. So my 6th tip is that we help our clients move through obstacles, changes, and setbacks. So once we've laid the foundation, once the client has their goals and action steps, they're moving into the actual change process, right? They're taking action and making the changes in their life. And we know that a behavioral change process is never a straight line, right? It's not going to start today and you're going to go, many steps forward until you get to the finish line. What the behavioral change process is a much more circular process. The client's going to take a few steps ahead, they're going to go sideways, they're going to go backwards, and then they're going to come back, right? So we want to make sure that the client is aware of this and, they're expecting it to come. So we want to really let our client know to expect obstacles. There are going to be setbacks, and I'm going to be there with you every step along the way, right? A big part of our role. So we definitely will learn techniques and should have these in our toolkit, to help our client overcome some of those obstacles. Things like limiting beliefs, stories that they're telling themselves, obstacles in their environment. We want to make sure that we're talking about support systems, right? So that they have the right support to make these changes. We really want to help them be able to move through places that they're stuck, right? So using all of our coaching tools to help with that. And we want to, in our goal setting process and our action planning, plan for the setbacks, right? We want to look at what's your plan B, what's your contingency plan, if this or this happens, what are you anticipating being the obstacle? So we're going to work through all of that. And really what we want to do is help our client bounce back, as quickly as possible from these setbacks. So yes, we know they're going to happen. The client's going to recycle through this process. And what can we do, as coaches to support them through that? So that's a big part of our role for sure. Helping our client, move through those obstacles, challenges, and setbacks that we know they're going to encounter. Because with our support, again, they'll be able to come back and bounce back a little quicker to be able to move forward quicker with those changes. So the final tip that I have and just, want to talk about in terms of our role as health coaches is that we provide accountability. It's a huge reason why clients hire us, right? If they could have done it on their own, they probably would have already, right? That's why they need our support, for the accountability to actually make the changes that they want to make in their life. So what I see happening a lot with new health coaches when it comes to accountability is new coaches coaches just say to the client, okay, how can I help you be more accountable to this, right? And a better question would be, how can you hold yourself accountable to this action step, to this goal, right? We really want the accountability to be with the client. So, you know, in coaching, right, the work happens back in the client's life. It's when they're out there doing their action steps, practicing things, developing new habits and practices in their own life. That's where the magic happens, right? So what can you do to hold yourself accountable? And accountability measures could be anything from, you know, how are you going to measure success? How are you going to track your progress? Who else, you know, can support you in your life, right? Because I'm only going to be here with the client for a particular period of time. So we want to make sure that they have those other supports in place. How can they get their action steps in their and their goals in their calendars, right? Blocking off time to actually work on all of this. So time management might be something that comes in here into the discussion as well. So accountability is huge. The responsibility for the accountability rests with the client. And of course, yes, as their coach, we are going to check in with them next time, right, at our next session to find out how they did, what their successes and wins were. We're going to help them overcome any of those obstacles and challenges. But we, at the end of the day, are not responsible for your client making those changes in their day-to-day life. So those were just, you know, this is a high-level overview. Each one of these topics could become their own teaching and module and lesson because there's so much here. But I did just want to touch on some of these key aspects of our role, you know, for those of you who are wondering, what the heck do I do as a health coach if I can't give advice and recommendations and tell people what to do? So I hope these 7 tips have been helpful for you. If you're interested in diving deeper into all of this is the exact sort of process. These are the exact roles and responsibilities that I teach in my Health Coaching Essentials program. The self-study version is available at any time for you to dive into, which really gives you a full process, structure, and framework for guiding your clients through a behavioral health coaching process. So if you're interested in that, I will put the link in the comments below. If you have any questions, you could also pose those there and I would be happy to answer them for you. So I hope this has been helpful, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in today and I will catch up with you next time. Have a great day. Bye for now.